It's time for Cutting Edge Consciousness with Freeman Michaels and Barnet Bain. Thought-provoking discussions and bold ideas from the edge of possibility.
This is Barnet Bain here with Freeman Michaels. We're back on Cutting Edge Consciousness with our guest, Garrett McNamara, waterman, and what else were you going to add there, Garrett?
I was just wondering if you guys have read the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success.
Deepak's, we sure have read that, yeah. Yeah, Deepak's a friend of the show.
That's what we, wake up almost every morning and turn to one of those pages and just digest it and focus on, being a better person, just doing the right things and doing it for the right reasons. And that book really just hits home. I mean, it's almost like you just open up any page and it's the right page.
It is. It's funny how that kind of works out, isn't it? I mean, no matter what's going on in your life, you crack that book open, and it speaks to where you're at.
And it really helps you understand and appreciate and just really know that everything at this moment is right. And you don't struggle with anything that's going on. Just know if it's a tough situation, know that you're going to learn from it. If it's somebody really that you don't want to deal with, know that he's going to be your teacher some way or another.
Which is a perfect way to line up this for the sake of peace, because what you're speaking to, there's a way where when we have a sense of purpose and vision, it becomes a context for everything that before might be more of a distraction. In other words, let's say something challenging occurs in my life, but I have somewhere I've got to go. Well, I'm very quick and efficient at cleaning it up when there's somewhere I've got to go. Like when you're trying to get somewhere and something comes along and you're like, wow, I've got to get there. So I need to clean this up in a way that moves me as quickly as possible to where I got to go. And that's what a vision and this sense of purpose does. That's what this map helps provide. It's when one has that bigger for the sake of, it sort of aligns my choices. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I really do. And I really like what you guys were saying about doing it for the right reasons and not to get back. And you do good comes. You do bad will come. But you don't do good to want good to come. You do it because it's the right thing to do. You don't expect anything in return.
Yeah. Well, this place you're coming from is wanting to be in the flow, wanting to love, wanting to grow, wanting to be in the flow. And you have these incredible resources like Deepak's book. You crack it open, and so do I. So does Freeman. We absolutely resonate with this. You crack it open, it always seems to speak, to give back, in help and aid and vision and support for whatever is come up, for whatever is on our minds. And the intention is to get into the flow, to be part of nature, not separate from it, to be in the flow with it, and to unfold our gifts, to bring our gifts, our strengths, our talents with it in whatever way is the fit. And yours happens to be one of the more dramatic contributions, and it inspires, and it'll inspire a lot of our listeners to know that these values are being modeled by you.
Yeah, sharing and experiencing. That's what it's all about. And the one word that really hit home there was growing. All of us, our society, most of us, once we get to a certain age, we're kind of really set in our ways, and we do what we do, and we know what we're doing, and we're right, and that's when you don't grow anymore, and that's when you don't evolve and don't learn and aren't a part of life anymore. You're just stuck. And we really all need to accept that we can grow and we can learn, and there's so much more out there than what we already know, and the way that we are. There's so much more for us.
Well, it's a risk. It's a big risk. I mean, the truth is that the patterns that we fall into, are the best way we've known to make sense of our world, to keep us safe. And so the idea
In the past.
but this is the challenge, Barnett, is like, the whole idea of I'm willing to risk knowing in service to not knowing, in service to possibilities that I can't imagine when I'm crunching everything down to this, very small, sort of sense of self that I've manufactured over the course of however many decades. And so this idea of opening up and allowing a newness to every moment, to every day, look, there's an element of risk involved in that.
Yeah, and then if you always just know that you're doing the right thing as well, you just have to be right with whatever's happening, no matter how bad it seems. So what you really, you can learn more. And I don't know, you guys stumped me for a second here. I'm lost for words.
Well, listen, here's the deal. What we love about you is you are living your life large. You're living your life loud. I'd say you're loving your life, and you're living love large, and you're living love loud, and it's beautiful, and you're doing it in a way that models for people what the possibilities are at any age to live their dreams when you're in the flow. And it is a spiritual, not a religious, nothing against religion. We're all for whatever gets people more hope and more possibility in their hearts. But you're coming at it from a exploration of growing spiritually and expressing it in what you do in the world, and it gets a lot of people very, very excited, particularly to know how it is you're doing it and where you get the resources to be who you are being.
Can I add something to that too? One of the things I think is important, which we haven't really talked about, we have prior to you coming on the show, is the frame of reference that surfing gives you. We talked about this, we alluded to this in the very beginning. We're talking about, riding the waves and having a sense of being able to trust and know, and obviously there's some craft involved, but beyond the craft, there's a sense of commitment and a sense of courage.
Drop into a 72-foot face, and that's commitment.
That's commitment. You better be all in, or you're in big trouble.
You know what it is? It is a lot of bleeding with your heart, because your heart knows what's right. Your brain will analyze and go all these different directions.
That's it.
But if you feel good in your heart when you make a decision, your heart feels good, then it's a good decision.
But see, that's such a great compass. So what you were saying when you were saying about being in the store and going, okay, this is kind of what I thought I was supposed to do, and there's all these voices that are saying you can't at 35 go back to surfing or whatever it is, that you were hearing from. But the part of you that learned, let's say, from the ocean and from the experience of surfing was reliable.
Yeah, you learn to trust it.
Yeah, and that metaphor. People always say, yeah, you can live your dreams, you can do whatever you want, and you hear that your whole life, and it's almost just like a fairy tale, or like it's not for real. But it is possible. That's the message I really want to get out, that it's never too late. And everybody can still live their dreams. They just really have to create that roadmap. And if you guys are talking about fear and these giant waves I got to face, and ever since we did that mission in Alaska with the glaciers, it was so beyond and so horrifying that the ocean is just like normal. It's not scary for me. I can't remember the last time I got a real rush from the ocean. And so that's why I always surf for the rush. I was always searching for the rush, and I didn't find the 7 spiritual laws of success yet, and I didn't find to dig deep into what really matters and what I'm all about and why. And after digging deep, and now it's time to just really let the world know, let everybody know that it is possible, and we can live our dreams. We can do what we're passionate about. That is really what I'm all about now, is just spreading that message. That's and that's when you guys were introducing, we're just talking about what you guys are about. And then I was like, I couldn't believe what you guys were saying.
Well, we love that. We love that. Thank you. What I hear in between all of the words and underneath everything that you're saying is this heart. And my takeaway from what you're talking about and books like Seven Spiritual Laws is, as you said before, our brain can only handle what it pulls out of our memory and out of our experience. It's not firing on enough cylinders to meet the challenges of real growth. And for that, you have to learn to develop a relationship, a trusting, close, real tender relationship with your heart. And because as you said before, the heart knows. It's a balancing act. It's a dance between the head and the heart. But in this case, the heart leads.
And that's when everything is just perfect and beautiful. And because we all know what's right and wrong. And if the heart feeling good, then it's good.
You know, though, back to what you were saying about we've all heard that you should do what you love to do. You know, it's one thing to hear it. And by the way, I'm not sure, you know, you're saying like everybody's saying that. The truth is not enough people are saying that. But that said, but that said, we have all heard it. But it's one thing to hear it and quite another thing to commit to it. It is one thing to hear it.
And to understand there are practices that support you in committing to it. As Garrett says, you commit to your goals. You write them down. They become the soft shoulder on either side of the road, so that when you hit the dirt patch, you know, whoa, I better get onto the pavement and go ahead.
Yeah, you know, we all get suppressed. We all get told or somehow locked into what we have to do or what we got to do because of this situation or this circumstance or this or that, whatever it is. There's a million different reasons, and maybe it's not. We don't have to. We got to do what we need to do to get where we want to be, not where we have to be. And that roadmap, that little list that you write is the way. The list is the way. Writing it down is the way.
The contract.
The roadmap.
Yeah.
The roadmap.
Yeah.
We need roadmaps.
Yeah.
And they become heart maps because you set out an intention and your heart finds a way to make it, to bring it. I want to bring I want to bend it into another direction just for a second. You do this great work with autistic kids, and I would love you to just share a little bit with our listeners about what's going on there.
Okay. Once your child is diagnosed with autism, as a parent, it's just devastating. I mean, it's like the whole world comes crashing down, and all your hopes and dreams seem to like slip away. Their graduation, their wedding, their everything. Just you don't know if any of it's ever going to happen, and all of a sudden you have this child that might be with you for the rest of your life, and there's really nowhere for you to take them. You're not really accepted anywhere. You go to a party with a bunch of family and friends, and it's tough, and it's not like they're welcome you with open arms all the time. And with Izzy Paskowitz and Surfers Healing, Izzy had a child was diagnosed with autism at 3 years old, and it was devastating for him, but the kid wasn't really comfortable anywhere, and he finally took him into the ocean, took him surfing, and all of a sudden, it just changed him, and he calmed down, and we take, the family, we invite them to the beach for the day with their child. It's their day. It's a family, the parents and their child. They come down, they give their kid to us, we take them surfing. Some of them have never spoken. Some of them won't show eye contact. Some of them won't smile, show emotions. And all of a sudden, once in a while, we got to wrestle them. Half of them, we got to wrestle them to get them on the board. It's like jiu-jitsu, and it's a little violent. And it's like, whoa! The first time I saw the guys do it, like, what are you doing? And then I've done it for a few years, and it's just what we have to do. We get them on the board, we get them out there, and all of a sudden, something changes. I mean, all their senses are firing. All sensory overload. That's what autism is. And then all of a sudden they're confined to the surfboard. That's their parameters. All they have, and the ocean and the smells, and the kids will come in saying hi or I love you, mommy. Kids will come in smiling. They'll start doing eye contact with you. I mean, they do things that they've never done, and it's so emotional. It's so overwhelming for us and the parents, and it's, you know, half the time we all end up crying, and it's a good cry, but it's also I feel to the parents, and it's just an emotional overload. It's just so, and it actually recharges me. Every time I do it, I get recharged to go back into the world and go chase some big waves or deal with whatever I have to deal with. But it's almost selfish for us as this teacher or surfers to take the kids out, because we get so much out of it. But it is priceless to see the parents watch their child surf for the first time, or to actually be the one taking their child surfing. And I don't know, it's amazing. And it's Izzy Paskowitz of Surfers Healing. His child now is 6'4", about 300 pounds, severely autistic, and you get that boy on the beach, and he goes straight for the water. You don't want to be in his way. And once he gets in the water, he is just loving life.
That's beautiful. That is so beautiful. What an incredible resource. And we're going to give folks, before we let you go, the information so they can tap into this.
Information for Surfers Healing, as well as information on where folks can find out more about what you're up to and what's up for you next.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
So that'll be on our website. We'll put that on. And we are so thrilled that you took the time today to spend it with us. And we look forward to next time you're in Ventura, having you come on in and hang with us in studio.
You know, we also, if you have another minute, we have this new sunscreen we're using called Raw Elements. And it's all natural, which is, you know, the chemicals that we put into our body is what you put on your body, goes in your body. We have this new sunscreen called Raw Elements that's all natural, chemical free, and it's reef safe. You put it on your body, it goes in the water, goes to the reef, goes to the fish. It's just really, I don't know, it's a part of my giving back to the environment, and
fantastic.
That's why I stand behind this company as well.
So we can get information on your website about Raw Element?
Yes, you can. It's rawelements.com as well.
Raw Elements. Beautiful. Excellent. So we're so thrilled. We'll put that out as well. And thanks for coming on. And for those of you listening, stay tuned, because we'll be right back here on Cutting Edge Consciousness.